He spoke of secret alien queens walking the earth. His own wife was the first target. Albuquerque, 1999. Beneath the vast New Mexico sky, a darkness gathered, far stranger than the desert night. This is the story of Gurley Chu Hasenkopf, a woman swallowed by a plot so bizarre it strains belief. It's a tale of breathtaking deceit, cold-blooded murder, and a manufactured reality spun from the warped imagination of a master manipulator. Gurley Chu, originally from Malaysia, sought a new life in America. She was known for her kindness, her lively spirit. In the early 90s, her path crossed with Deceit Hasenkopf. He presented himself as a man of science, a brilliant geneticist, even a surgeon. He possessed charisma, a tool he wielded with chilling precision. The truth was far different. Deceit was a phantom, constructed of lies, with a past littered with failed marriages and financial schemes. He claimed grave illnesses to garner pity and control. Gurley married this illusion in 1993. She worked steadily at a local bank, grounded in the reality her husband seemed determined to escape. Then came Linda Henning, a fashion designer who entered Deceit's orbit in 1999, just as his marriage to Gurley crumbled. Henning quickly became entangled in Deceit's fabricated world, accepting his grandiose self-portrayal. She became his mistress, soon drawn into something far more sinister. By September, the Hasenkopf marriage was broken. Gurley, having uncovered Deceit's infidelity and the depth of his deceptions, had filed for divorce. She confided in friends, speaking of fear. On September 9th, she didn't arrive at the bank. Her colleagues sounded the alarm. Inside Gurley's apartment, the scene spoke of violence. Blood marked the space, confirmed by DNA analysis as Gurley's. An attempt had been made to erase the evidence with bleach, but the traces of struggle of life violently interrupted remained indelible. Gurley Chu was gone. The investigation pointed toward her estranged husband and his new companion. Linda Henning's car was seen near Gurley's apartment around the time she vanished. A search of Henning's residence uncovered unsettling items, including ninja swords Deceit reportedly purchased. The mountains west of Socorro yielded a grim discovery: a camouflage tarp discarded. Wrapped within it, stained with Gurley Chu's blood, was her clothing. Her DNA was found on the tarp itself. A friend of Deceit, Bill Miller, eventually provided information. He admitted Deceit enlisted his help not for a killing, but for the grim task of cleaning the blood-soaked apartment after Gurley was gone. Miller's account tightened the net around Deceit. The motive appeared twofold. Deceit needed to escape a potentially damaging divorce, silencing Gurley, who knew the precarious truth of his existence. But layered upon this was the extraordinary tool he used to bind Linda Henning to his cause. He fed her a narrative of cosmic importance, of a secret war against inhuman forces. Deceit painted Gurley not as his estranged wife, but as a dangerous extraterrestrial queen, a reptilian disguised as human. He convinced Henning that Gurley's elimination was a necessary act. Perhaps planetary defense, perhaps a step in some hidden mission. This outlandish fiction became Henning's perceived reality, a potent form of psychological chains, twisting murder into a supposed act of righteousness. Deceit was the architect. But the evidence suggested Henning was a physical participant in the abduction, perhaps the killing itself. Arrests followed. Deceit Hasenkopf and Linda Henning faced charges including murder and kidnapping. Bill Miller, facing his own charges, agreed to detail Deceit's actions. Confronted with the weight of proof, Deceit Hasenkopf pleaded guilty to murder in 2002. Avoiding a potential death sentence, he received life plus 61 years. He offered shifting, useless accounts of Gurley's whereabouts, her final resting place still unknown. Linda Henning stood trial, professing innocence. The alien story surfaced, not as a denial of events, but perhaps as an explanation for her state of mind. The prosecution depicted her as deeply manipulated yet accountable for her choices. In 2003, a jury found her guilty on multiple counts, including first-degree murder. Her sentence amounted to 73 years behind bars. The murder of Gurley Chu Hasenkopf continues to fascinate and disturb. The reptilian-alien angle, so profoundly strange, sets it apart. It showcases the terrifying potential of psychological manipulation pushed to its deadliest extreme. The characters remain stark. The pathological con man, the susceptible accomplice caught in his narrative, and the tragic victim erased by their actions. The core remains the calculated destruction of a life, fueled by deceit. The alien story must be seen for what it was. Dyazian Hasenkoff's grotesque instrument of control. It was the lever he used to move Linda Henning toward an unthinkable act. It was the symptom of his pathology, the method in his madness, never the objective truth of the situation. This was a crime born of human failings, ego, cruelty, and a chilling capacity for deception. Dyazian Hasenkoff built a fantasy to justify murder, pulling Linda Henning into its vortex. Girlie Chu paid the price for his lies. Her body, never found, represents the unanswered questions, the final. Haunting injustice in a case saturated with strangeness and sorrow. February 9th, 2004. A date etched into the cold ground of New Hampshire in the minds of countless watchers. On that frigid evening, Mara Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student, spun her Saturn sedan into a snowbank off Route 112 near Haverhill. A man driving a school bus lived nearby. He stopped, saw the young woman beside her disabled car. He drove the short distance home to call for help. Minutes later, police found the Saturn locked, abandoned. Maura Murray was gone. Gone into the dark woods, the winter night, or somewhere else entirely. Nearly 20 years have slipped by, yet she remains missing. Her absence a persistent question mark. Her final days paint a picture of a life abruptly shifting course. A minor car accident involving her father's vehicle preceded her departure. An apparent emotional breakdown occurred during her campus security job shift. She sent emails to university staff and her employer, fabricating a family death to excuse an absence she was already planning. On that final Monday, she packed her car with belongings, took $280 from an ATM, bought liquor, and pointed her vehicle north. Her destination remains a point of pure speculation. Computer searches hinted at Bartlett, New Hampshire, or perhaps Stowe, Vermont. The crash itself happened around 7:27 p.m. on a sharp bend. Airbags deployed. The witness, Butch Atwood, offered assistance. Mara reportedly waved him off, stating she'd called for roadside aid, though cell reception there was notoriously poor. Atwood made the call to 911 himself upon reaching his house at 7:43 p.m. A Haverhill officer reached the quiet stretch of road minutes after 7:46 p.m. The Saturn sat empty. Inside, personal effects were visible. A damaged box of wine lay on the passenger side, its red contents spilled. No, Mara. What makes this story cling so tightly to the public imagination? It begins with the vanishing itself. How does a person disappear from a roadside, bordered by deep snow and dense woods, in the thin slice of time between one witness leaving and police arriving? No clear footprints led away from the pavement. Add to this the strange prelude, the invented bereavement, the packed car, the cash, the unexplained trip. These details suggest someone running from something, or perhaps running to something unknown. Her state of mind, her true intentions, these are voids filled only by guesswork. The few threads of evidence offer little purchase. Atwood's account is the firmest point, yet other reported sightings remain ephemeral. It's unverified whispers of figures on the road or suspect vehicles. The car yielded scant clues. No signs pointed to a struggle. Her bank accounts fell silent. Her phone never pinged another tower. This absence of proof leaves the door open to nearly any scenario. The internet discovered Maura Murray early. Her case became a prototype for the digital age cold case phenomenon. Online forums lit up, websites chronicled every detail, podcasts dissected every possibility. This digital spotlight kept her name alive, spread awareness far beyond New Hampshire's borders, and sometimes spurred fresh looks at old information. Yet, this same online attention birthed a storm of rumor, unfounded accusations, and painful conjecture, often compounding the anguish for those who knew Mara. Sorting fact from fiction became a monumental task. The core reason for the case's grip remains the profound lack of resolution. Law enforcement, private investigators, search teams combing the woods, and legions of armchair detectives have produced no solid answers. Did someone prey on her vulnerability at the crash site? Did she arrange her own disappearance, seeking a fresh start under a different name? Or did she walk away from the car, perhaps injured or confused, only to be claimed by the unforgiving wilderness? Each possibility hangs in the air, unsupported by concrete findings. Theories abound, falling into broad categories. One posits foul play. An opportunistic predator or someone known to her intercepted her journey. Another suggests she chose to disappear, escaping pressures unseen by others. A third paints a tragic picture of disorientation or injury leading her into the woods, where the elements proved fatal, her resting place still concealed by the trees. The passage of time complicates the search, evidence fades, memories blur. New investigative techniques offer glimmers of hope, yet the trail grows colder with each passing year. For Maura's family, especially her father, Fred, the search has been a relentless pursuit against this fading light. The constant public gaze, the swirling online narratives, form a difficult backdrop to their private grief and unwavering determination. Maura Murray's story persists not just as a cold case file, but as a stark narrative of sudden absence. A young woman, a damaged car on a lonely road, and then nothing. The vacuum left by her disappearance, combined with the perplexing clues she left behind, invites speculation that has yet to cease. It's a chilling puzzle missing its final piece, a human tragedy echoing unanswered through the years.